Greetings to you from wherever you're joining us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, on the show tonight, we will give you a slice of handball. We will also look at what is happening on the domestic scene, talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League. We will also talk about what is going on right now. The Europa League is also talk about what happened yesterday in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, top among those matches is of course, the match between two powerhouses, talking about Liverpool and Real Madrid. We talk about all of that, all for you. And also, there's news about Iga Swiatek, the tennis world number 2. We'll talk about that even as the show progresses. That's the outlook of the show. Let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. Bolu Money joins us now. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good to be again. The day where the Thursday boys are battling themselves. About 36 or 38 games going on simultaneously in the second and third of Europa League. But the big boys yesterday showed why the UEFA Champions League is exciting. And of course, the MPFL is now getting to that stage where to get a point away from home, you would have to sweat to get any of them based on the results we saw. And unfortunately, Yimba didn't really have the kind of start we expect them to have. But I'm sure we're going to have a jolly ride today.
All right, so that's probably something I left out. The CAF Competition Cup, even not having the kind of start we all thought they will. All right, Austin is seated and ready now. He joins us as we go on this trip together.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Always an action-packed sort of sport. You mentioned what's been going on in the UEFA Champions League. What a story. Robert Lewandowski joined the 100 club with that one in Barcelona. And of course, the major one, what Liverpool did. They made a huge statement in that 2-0 win over Real Madrid. It's not really working for the champions or the defending champions of the competition, but you know Real Madrid and the UEFA Champions League, we'll see if it's going to be a different story this season. The MPFL will also get us talking midweek fixtures. And I see Heartland, unbeaten run ending, but Ikorodu City saying no, we'll keep it going. Handball in Nigeria. Shout out to Samuel Ocheo and his team and everything they are doing for the development of the sport. Always an action-packed world of sports. So much to talk about, Yemi, so let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start with handball. The title deciding phase of the competition is on the way in Lagos, and a lot of interesting games currently going on. I mean, you're looking at some of the names we're used to hearing. Tabletoppers, Today Marine Academy in action, Kano Pillars also, so it's been interesting. And of course, we're looking at action in the men's and the women's category. But let me get your thoughts before we listen to the president of the federation. We're in that title deciding phase. It's going down in Lagos. I mean, what else can I say? For the past few years, I've had reasons to talk about handball, and they've all been good reasons.
Exactly. I was going to pick it up from there. Handball are one of the federations where not that the money is flowing like it does in some other sports, but they always find ways to make sure they get something done. I'm not sure they've missed any in the last few years, at least since the Ocheo came on board. They've been finding ways to make sure they get events out, now, which is the most important thing. Consistency will definitely bring sponsors. You may not have probably the money you expect to get, but if you are consistent with your job, some 1 or 2 persons will come in to partner with you guys. And they've gone on with the first phase and the second phase, similar to what we saw in the Nigeria Basketball Premier League. The second phase is now the deciding phase. There's no second chances this time around. When you lose guard this time around, you are definitely out of the competition. And those who gave us something to water our appetite in the last event are still doing the same. They're talking about Toje Marine that you mentioned, and of course the babes who are also doing so well started the day one of the second phase very well. Let's see how far they can go for the remainder of the phase 2.
All right, let's listen to the man who happens to be the face, poster boy of handball in Nigeria, the president himself, Samuel Ocheo, on the show, talking about, of course, the competition and recent developments in handball in Nigeria.
Expecting to see a lot, expecting to see upset, expecting to see a new champion, expecting to see the game go in a different light from what it was last year. We're seeing younger players coming through. That's what we are all happy about. So we are waiting to see what this year's league will provide. Well, there's nothing new compared to, if you look at the sponsorship, prize money has been increased. That's what we're still taking into the second phase. We're not going to see anything different except the varieties that we're going to introduce into the game. I understand when you're talking about new things, you're talking about maybe sponsorship change in terms of packages and all, but no, everything remains as it is, and we believe that that's good enough for the game for this year. Right from the first phase, we saw some new talents in the Adamawa boys who are new entrants. We've already invited some of them to the under-18 camp. We expect them to continue in the camping and grow from there. We've also seen other teams introducing newer talents from the junior tech categories, and that's what our expectation is. So I believe things are going on going on very well. Well, I think if you ask me, our league is better than the NPFL to the extent that we have a title sponsor over the last 7 years. NPFL, because it's football, is very popular. But for handball, we've had this title sponsor over the last 7 years, and I think that's something good for the game. In terms of what happened after I leave after the end of my tenure, well, let's allow that to take place. One thing I'll tell you is that if Jesus did not go, the Holy Spirit will not come.
Wow, that's going spiritual there. All right. The president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, Samuel Osheo, talking about recent developments and, of course, what to expect in the title deciding phase 2 of the league. All right. Also, you listen to him. Always good vibes coming from the Handball Federation.
Yeah, good vibes. As Samuel Osheo decided to shake the tables a little bit, calling out the MPFL, saying that, look, we've got a title sponsor, we've got a proper structure, we've got system, we are producing players for the national team. What you're doing is for both men and women, and we've been consistent. I think that's good bragging rights from the president of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. And we've also seen quality handball. For instance, defending champions, Safety Babes, they've shown that, look, they can actually go all the way to keep their title. So they are doing so well in the first phase. Let's see if they can keep it going in the second. Toje Marine for the men saying, look, Niger United, I know you guys are the defending champions and you can play, but we want to prove a point. And that's what we want. That's what we're talking about. We want to see proper competition back home, not everybody looking for ways to go outside and just go and consume events. When you do it back home, for Samuel Osheo and his team now, you see he has even projected into the future. They said if Jesus Christ did not go, we'll talk about the Holy Spirit. So somebody is watching and seeing all of these things that they've put together, and it's all about continuity. It's all about sustaining the momentum. It's about keeping the quality and ensuring that there's proper quality assurance when we're talking about the development of handball in Nigeria. So shout out to the team. Let's wait to see. The competition looks good already. This is handball we're talking about on primetime television. These players will be so proud that they have an opportunity to showcase their talent, not just players. There's also lessons for administrators, the coaches, even Lagos that is hosting, the media, and of course, the MPFL that Samuel Osheo called out. Go and look at what they are doing and jot down some notes here, me.
All right. That's very good. It could only get better. There are so many levels to these things, and hopefully the sports federations could look at it. So many. And I've always believed, still believe, will continue to believe there's so much we can all gain. There's enough for everybody in sports. It's a sector that I hope the government will create an enabling environment, and the federations will also take advantage of everything that is available to make it the money spinning world of sports that we call it, because that's what it is. All right, let's move on the show. Let's talk about something that a lot of people are not always interested in, but is important nonetheless. And of course, that's a FIFA ranking. Of course, the Super Eagles dropped 5 spots in the latest ranking. Some have said is the biggest slide downwards that they've seen in recent times. And I'll just go across now, talk about it. Bully's already nodding his head. Maybe he agrees. I do not know. But let me just quickly go across the screen and talk about this. And, of course, I would ask Bolu if what his opinions are. And of course, you have it right here. And we've put it, just look at the information you have on your screen. We start with the one for Africa. Charity begins at home, they say. So we're beginning from Africa. You have the Atlas Lions of Morocco. They're, according to FIFA, the 14th best football playing nation in the world. And they dropped one spot. They moved down. Teranga Lions of Senegal, 17, 3 places up. Egypt, 33rd, 3 spots down. Algeria, the Desert Foxes, same position, or moved. 4th best team in Africa, 37th in the world. Now the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the 44th. I have my issues with the Super Eagles, but 44th, I don't know. 44th best football playing nation in the world, 8 spots down. All right, and you can understand that with the recent results of, the Super Eagles were able to get losing at home, playing a draw away. What would you have expected? All right, top 10 in the world. Let's do that quickly. We'll see the top 10 for the world. There you have it. Top 10, Argentina, France, Spain, England, Brazil, Portugal, Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, and Germany. In that order, making up the 10 best football playing nations in the world, according to FIFA. All right, let me go to Austin quickly. Like I said, people don't really like to talk about it. They're not really interested, but it's still important nonetheless. Of all the things, 44th best football playing nation in the world, I beg to disagree.
Do you really disagree? I mean, do you? The Super Eagles and lately the whole lukewarmness they've been showing. I always say that we don't understand the coefficients that FIFA uses, for this ranking. But maybe if you lose to a lower ranked team, maybe that might just affect, your ranking status. So I think that's final AFCON qualifying game defeat to Rwanda didn't do good for the Super Eagles with the rankings, but hey, they should still, be proud that they're amongst the top 5 in Africa. Well, this world rankings can be really funny, so I don't really, get into it. But if you look at the Super Eagles, 8 spots down in that African ranking, you can tell that they were the team that dropped the most, and that's not really good, So. Those are lessons we can pick out of these rankings. Otherwise, just go out there, stay focused, do your football, and whatever FIFA wants to do, let them do, But I'm sure there are people that will take a look at the top 10 rankings in the world, will not dispute Argentina. I don't think anybody will also dispute, maybe they might dispute France in 2nd position, But if you take a look at Argentina, France, Spain, England, and Brazil, top 5, you want to say, okay. Maybe sometimes if I also look at some of the things that you do outside the football pitch, we don't really know, maybe there might just be something that they are looking at that we don't know of or we don't look at also. But hey, it's just the world rankings. It doesn't mean anything. It didn't stop a lowly ranked Saudi Arabia from beating Argentina at the last World Cup,
All right. Boli, your thoughts? I won't let this pass without allowing you to say something. So, your thoughts, we could go on, and it's an interesting talking point. Most people don't want to say much, but it's important nonetheless because the world's football governing body, based on their coefficient, like Austin said, this is how they rate football playing nations. It's hard for me to accept that Nigeria is the 44th. But who am I anyway?
Well, like Austin said, I don't even know. I think we know what they use, the criteria and everything. Because when Nigeria are doing well, I know it's I think 4-5 year coefficient they calculate. But when Nigeria is doing so well, it doesn't reflect instantly. But when Nigeria loses, it reflects almost immediately. The last 2 internationals have been terrible for France. If they are going by what we see recently, France shouldn't be second. Argentina lost one of the 2 games they played the last game. It doesn't reflect. I don't know how Nigeria don't reflect almost immediately. But like Austin rightly said, it's the ranking. The only advantage the ranking does for you is anytime you need seedings, anytime you need to get in the spots in, the ranking helps. Fortunately for now, hopefully at least Nigeria maintain positive ranking till the next African Cup of Nations, so that way they can be in pot 1 and have maybe to an extent favorable draws. Aside that, you may be ranked 200 as it be the team that ranked 1 in the world if you come on a good day. Like he mentioned that the Saudi Arabia Arabia and Argentina at the last World Cup. Central African Republic are beating Nigeria here in Lagos. We've lost to the last time around Rwanda in Nigeria. All of them are ranked behind Nigeria. What ranking does for you is it puts you in better place, better position when the seedings are needed, when parties are there. But apart from that one, nobody cares about ranking. Do your job on the field of play.
All right, do your job on the field of play. Let's talk about a team that didn't do their job on the field of play, and we're here to talk about what could have happened, in Egypt. I'll talk about Nigeria's representative in the CAF Confederation Cup at the Aba Elephants themselves, Eyimba. All right, I'll go across the screen in the few minutes we have before this segment is over. Just quickly take a look at the results and also the position of our team. Let me just quickly go across. We look at the results and similar scoreline in both matches. Al Masry beating Eyimba 2-0. Eyimba was second best, all true in that game. Zamalek also defeated Black Bulls of Maputo, the team from Mozambique, 2-0. And after those matches, this is what the table looks like. The Aba Elephants sit in the bottom. I'm very sure you're going to see it in a bit. The Aba Elephants sit in the bottom. There you go. Al Masry on top. Zamalek, obviously, Black Bulls, and Eyimba's right there. And I don't know what to say. It means they have to win their own matches, and when they travel, should get something. Usually in competitions like this, 10 points will see you through. So that means win your 3 home games. When you travel, you're going to do that 3 times. Ensure you get at least a draw. And sometimes 10 points might not be enough if you have a whipping boy in that group. So I don't know.
Well, the thing is, we need to, first of all, we now talking about MPFL clubs, change the mindset, the orientation of you can't win away from home. Mm-hmm. Even here in the league, I remember Fidelis Ilechiku's MFL when they finished second. He literally has 2 different teams. One team for home games, the Sikiri Olatubo Sons, the Stevie No Days, the other ones are cool. And when they're going away, just change it because that mindset of no matter what I do, I don't win. Until we start winning well away from it. It's so bad that when we have 2 away wins in a weekend or a match day, people celebrate. Even one, we got an away win this weekend here. So until there should be big clubs. We have our elite clubs in Nigeria. Eyimba are number 1 in terms of being elite among the clubs. The same Eyimba, I don't think Eyimba records 5 away wins in a whole season. So until we have that mindset of you can win it from home here in Nigeria, and it feels like there's a mental block with MPFL clubs going to North Africa. Most of the time, they know they're going there to lose. So it plays in the mind as well. And Al Masry, yes, we've heard they are a top team somehow. They are perennial teams in this competition. This is Eyimba, 2-time Champions League winner. Eyimba shouldn't even be here. They should be playing. It's like let's say Real Madrid playing in Europa Conference League and going on to lose to a team and say, okay, those teams are used to this. They are supposed to be the superior team. Now they have tough tasks to do. Although, like you said, win your home games and let's see how many points you can pick it from home. Unfortunately, from there, they will be playing the defending champions in their next match. Talking about Zamalek. This same Zamalek defeated Al Ahly in the CAF Super Cup. They are known for this place. They are used to playing games like this. They don't care either home or away. That's my fear for Eyimba. I hope they get to do the job at home. But you need to question CAF. I've been saying for how do you have 2 teams from the same country? In fact, we've seen teams where we have 3 from the same country in the same group.
All right. We're about to go on a break, but I'm very sure Austin has a lot to say. So probably just say that and take us to the break. I mean, your thoughts. We need to change that mindset of, even as we as journalists, an away game in North Africa, we're already counting it as a loss.
And you don't want to blame, journalists or pundits who are using, metrics from previous games, statistics to, judge it. I remember I talked about it too when we were previewing the game that Eyimba needs to go out there and show that they can play. And to an extent, they did show that they could compete. I think ball possession was 55 to Al Masry, 45 to Eyimba. The pass accuracy, they were up there. They had loads of shots off target, but they had 3. When you have 3 shots on target, in this sort of difficult game, you should take it. And they still played with a bit of the stick shift on. They played with that handbrake on. I always talk about it. Be fluid with your football. Don't be predictable. If they are going offensive, go offensive with them. And hear me, those rash tackles. Precious goodness. The first time they have like 4 yellow cards already. It won't help you, It would also help this man who's trying to make them play intelligent football, tactical football, and be disciplined in terms of their execution. So they need to correct it. Then, particularly with goal scoring, when they play Zamalek, when you create a chance, you need to take it. When you create 2 chances, you should be close to scoring 2 goals. That's the only way you put fear in the minds of your opponents and make them sit back, and then you control the game. Anyway, just a pundit. Let's go on a quick break now. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. When we come back, there's still so much more to talk about, particularly the Champions League, the MPFL, the Europa League. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at the CAF Confederation Cup that's got Nigeria's representatives Enyimba. They lost their first game away to Al-Masry by 2-0, but there's still some more games to be played, and Enyimba needs to show working. Bolu, against Zamalek, what do you think the People's Elephants must do?
That game is going to be very tough. In fact, it will be their toughest game in the group stage. The advantage for them is they're playing at home. Yes, scoring lots of goals are important, but getting 3 points is much more important. Even if it's 1-0, try as much as you can to win. Ali, like Emi said earlier as well, win your home games first. Then we start talking about how many points you can get away from home, how many goals you can score away from home. It feels like the Whooping Boys in the group will beat the Black Bulls. Everyone should beat them. It means if Enyimba are going away, at least if you can't beat them home and away, get 4 points off them and pick your 3 points in your 2 other games against the 2 Egyptians. It's going to be very, very tough for them. That group is very tough. Enyimba, former Champions League winner, Zamalek, perennial champion, same thing with Al-Masry. So I pity Enyimba for the group they're in, but do they have what it takes to qualify? Definitely. But that match on the 8th of December would have a long way to determine if they're going to make it through to the next round. Win at home against Zamalek. I don't care about the score. We will talk about how they will play. We'll talk about how many goals. But the most important thing is pick all 3 points at home. Then we'll talk about goals later.
That's right. I think they need to go back, take a look at the statistics, because I see they didn't do badly with their pass accuracy. I mean, Al-Masry had 83% and Enyimba had 80% of the pass accuracy. So it means at some point they could actually breathe and control the game, But going forward, that stiffness, that playing with the handbrake on, that being too careful, I think that's part of what affected them. With the passes, Al-Masry made 414, Enyimba made 360. Not so bad, I talked about the shots on target. Al-Masry had 10 and scored 2. Enyimba had 3 and scored nothing. So if you even score 1 and the scoreline is 2-1, I'm sure our analysis would have been different.
Definitely would have. But you summed it up for me. With those words, playing with the handbrakes on. I think that's the issue for me. The stats may say different, but they didn't trouble Al-Masry. That must be said. Al-Masry wasn't looking like Al-Masry was going to lose, and that's a problem for me. You have to always give your opponents something to consider. They didn't do that. So the stats may say it wasn't a poor game, but from where I stand, at least you must ruffle feathers. It's a game of football. You must ruffle feathers. At the end of the day, if you don't win, yes, but at least ruffle feathers. Don't play with your handbrakes on, which was what they did. That gave me cause for worry. All right, let's move on the show tonight. Let's talk about what's happening here. Enyimba, obviously, not playing because they had assignment on the continent, but other teams were available and they played. So I go across in a bit to look at the tape, to look at the matches, and of course to look at the table. I'm going to do that in a bit. You're looking at some of the matches on your screen. Some very, very interesting matches. You look at the Southwest Derby, Remo Stars and Shooting Stars, 2-0 in favor of Remo Stars. You also had Ikorodu City in action. Some people say they've turned the corner. Time will tell, and we will see. Pictures from the 2 venues. But before I go across the screen quickly, I said something about the Southwest Derby. Remo Stars have become a force. I can't even say they are becoming. They are a force to reckon with on the domestic scene.
One thing Remo Stars have done well, they didn't waste time. Immediately they landed. They started qualifying for continent. Unfortunately, they are yet to break into it. And that's what I wish they can do. People have asked, who do I think can win the PFL this season? There are 2 teams in my mind. Either Remo Stars, because I want them to be pushing hard. And for Finidi George, Rivers United, he's done it before. He got insulted by many. I want him to win the NPFL again. But either or, Remo Stars have been very, very impressive. They hardly go beyond top 3. It's either first, second every match. They really helps them. If they continue with this form towards the latter stage of the season, who says they can't win the NPFL? Almost, not even almost, every team that goes to Ikene in the Southwest, know you are going there to lose. The problem for you now is when they come to your house, try as much as you can to even win if you can. This is what it means to be a force to reckon with in the NPFL, and Remo Stars are doing exactly just that.
All right, they're doing exactly just that. Let me just go across, as I said, and we'll look at the results, we'll look at the table, then we take it from there. The results, behind me, Abia Warriors beat Katsina United 2-0. Akwa United, well, I said they've not been keeping some promises, at least they did on this occasion. They defeated Plateau United by a long goal. Bayelsa United hammered United Tornadoes 4-1. Rangers International, Flying Antelopes defeated Lobby Stars 3-0. Ikorodu City, we need to really ask ourselves if they've turned the corner, but the results are coming in, it must be said. Ikorodu City beating El Kanemi Warriors 2-0. These are match day 14 results, by the way. Kwara United had a slim 1-0 victory over Heartland. They beat the Nazi Millionaires, tutored by former Super Eagles winger Emmanuel Amadike. Nazaro United defeated Bendel Insurance 2-1. Remo All Stars, the game you saw on screen, of course, beat Shooting Stars 2-0. Then the Akure Gunners had a 1-1 draw with Rivers United. I think this was a good result for Rivers United because, next time they will be at home and Remo Stars will be traveling. So that's how it's going to be for us sometimes. So it's going to be about the team that gets the good away results because it looks like these guys will keep winning at home. But also share your thoughts with us on these matches. I don't know if we can quickly see the top 4, bottom 4, but if we can, okay, there you have it. Remo Stars on top, just what I referenced. After 14 matches, the same level of points with Rivers United. So the pendulum will keep swinging. The next time it's going to be Rivers at home, Remo Stars away. Bolu referenced it. Remo Stars do their best not to lose when they travel away, and it's a good thing for its team. Rangers International not too far away. Third position, 23 points. And El Kanemi Warriors, of course, 22 points. But of course, the Aba Elephants, when they start playing their games as well, probably will be in the mix. Bottom 4, let's look at what it looks like. Akwa United, even with that win, Nasarawa United, Lobby Stars, Bendel Insurance, all having played 14 matches, 15, 15, 13, and 12. Not a good place to be. So also share your thoughts with us, seeing the table, and of course, looking at the results. What are the things that comes to your mind looking at the results?
Ikorodu City, what a story they are telling. Now 5 matches unbeaten. They are playing fluid football. They are getting better every match day. El Kanemi Warriors, a very difficult team. Just before this game, El Kanemi Warriors had lost just 1 game. But the way Ikorodu City broke them, played the long ball so well, they played penetrative football, they didn't lose possession that much, and when they created chance, boom, they are scoring, So that's sort of football you want to play, purposeful football, and it was just good enough for them to go on to win by 2-0 to keep the unbeaten run going. Another important win was Kwara United beating Heartland. Until that game, Heartland were 5 games had a 5-game unbeaten run, and they were very decent. But Kwara United needed to show quality, needed to make a statement, and they did. Emmanuel Obole scoring his 6th goal in 5 matches. He's been so effective for the Harmony boys, and that's the sort of player you need when things are going on so tight, and you think it's going to end goalless. That sort of player pops up. He gave us a fine header to give Kwara United that win over Heartland. One result no one is talking about. They didn't win, but they ensured they didn't lose. Rivers United going away to play 1-1 with Sunshine Stars. That ensured that they still get tied on 26 points with the current league leaders, Remo Stars. And for Remo Stars with the Southwest Derby, they're going to keep the bragging rights. They needed to show quality. They needed to show that they can actually push. They needed to play with intention. And they did just that, beating 3SC by 3-0. So it's that tight. But shout out to Rangers, now into the top 3, But yeah, we'll wait to see what will happen when the back comes. But they also played a game that needed to prove a point, and they did, beating Lobby Stars by 3-0. Shame on Aqua United that despite the win, they're still within the relegation zone, and that's what happens. I said it, that from match day 10, if you are not playing well, if you are not getting the results, when you start winning, it will even look like you're still struggling, Shout out to Apollos. Apollos always coming up, stepping up for the promise keepers. This one, it was, a chance and a half, and it took it, blasted the ball into the net to give Aqua United that vital win against Plateau United, So it is what it is. The promise keepers must find a way to keep winning. Otherwise, when we get to match day 20 and you're still lukewarm, then it's going to be a big struggle for you, Yemi.
Yeah. Bolu, you've talked about a few matches already, but any other standouts, results that you want to comment on?
It has to be Ikorodu City. The way they started the season from rock bottom, they let go of their manager, assistant manager took over, then boom, everything turned around for them. Played the El Academy. The only game El Academy lost before that match. It was more like a struggled loss. Yes, they don't win, but they find ways to get a draw, irrespective of where they played at home or away from home. Then Ikorodu City, how? From bottom of the table, now they are 5th on the log, just 1 or 2 points behind the top 4. That's what improvement does for you. That's what coaching does. Look, I must have mentioned Heartland. Heartland, I remember when Amunike started, they told them he has a plan that when the boys get to the rhythm, the things will turn around. And boom, everything turned around for them. Coaching, you cannot overestimate coach, and you cannot underestimate the importance of having a coach in the team. So no matter how much anybody says, you have to give kudos to Ikorodu City. When they started losing, people were like, wow, welcome to the real world. Now you know what the MPF feels like. Now the story is changing. They may end up not finishing where they are now, but it's always good. Have a good start. It builds their confidence, it builds their mentality. Now they know anybody that comes to the Onikon Stadium in Lagos, they are going back with a loss. At least if you can't win all your remaining home games, if you win about 80% of them, they're definitely staying in the MPFL for next season.
All right, we'll see what happens. Still a lot of matches to be played. You're looking at 24 more matches. So is it safe to say they've turned the corner? We'll see. All right, let's travel abroad now, and we'll go to our man who is at the center of where everything is happening. Currently, we have Europa League matches. So, Austin, the floor is yours. Take us through games that have been completed, the ones that are going on. Then, of course, also you'll have to talk about Liverpool. What's the mood like? Liverpool beating Real Madrid, even though Arne Slot is saying, calm down.
And that's what he's been doing here. But the media in England, they don't want to hear, they big up Liverpool whenever they need to big them up. And yesterday was a good day to, say, this team, you're doing well, you're playing with intention, you're doing the right things. This is a new manager, and it seems like everything is clicking. Unfortunately, they are still not making enough comments as regards Mohamed Salah. We will come back to that one. Let me just tell you what's going on in the Europa League. Loads of games, and quite a number have been concluded. Anderlecht and FC Porto, that game ended 2-2. Athletic Club and Elfsborg, Athletic Club winning that one by 3-0. That's Atletico Madrid. AS Alkmaar and Galatasaray, that game ended 1-1. So Victor Osimhen and his team, good result away from home for them. Maccabi Haifa defeated Besiktas away from home by 3-1. Wow, can you believe that? It was Dynamo Kiev 1, Victoria Plzen 2. Lazio and Ludogorets played goalless. Super Eagles midfielder Fisayo Dele Bashiru was an unused substitute in that game. I was actually following it. Lyon went away to Karabakh to win by 4-1. And some of the games going on at the moment that I'm monitoring, Manchester United against Bodo Glimt. Can you believe it? It's Manchester United 1, Bodo Glimt 2, Yemi.
Different managers, same United. No, I just go carried away. But look, your thoughts. But look, the new manager, Ruben Amorim, has said we might have to suffer for a while. Maybe this is part of the suffering he's referring to.
I hope he gets to enjoy the fruit of the labor, because I don't think United will have the patience to go for suffering. If not, they probably would have kept Eric Ten Hag on the job. First game against Ipswich, we spoke about it a few weeks ago, that their next 6 games were winnable matches. And Ruud van Nistelrooy did a good job to start with them. Now Ipswich should be a win for United. They drew that, but now they're losing. Interestingly, in this game, they scored the opening goal in the first minute, Garnacho. Now they are down 2-1. They need to turn the corner, and they need to. Yeah. But let's see what happens when they play this weekend. It's Everton. If you then can't beat Everton as well with Everton's form, I think they will be fire on the mountain. But I also spoke about the Champions League game yesterday. Liverpool, they played Real Madrid at the right time. They have not lost to Real Madrid since the 4-0, 1-0 win in 2009. It feels like Real Madrid come to the Anfield and they go back home smiling every time. And with the Real Madrid off form, the injuries and everything combined, Liverpool right now, not even arguably, they're the most informed team in Europe. You may say they are not playing flamboyant, spectacular football, but they are doing the needful, getting the job done. See what happened to them over the weekend. 2-1 down against Southampton. They fought back to win that game. That is champion stuff. Remember when they won the Premier League under Jurgen Klopp? People said early days, but they created a huge gap so much that even when they started losing, nothing happened to them. They ended up winning the Premier League.
Just to mention on Manchester United, Bolu, Ruben Amorim, I think he's got a thing for scoring early goals. So it was Garnacho that gave United the lead as early as the 2nd minute. Bam, bam, United took the lead. But in the 19th minute, small Bodo Glimt, equalized 1-1. 4 minutes later, Manchester United conceded again. So it's 2-1. As I reported, we'll continue to monitor it. We're talking about Liverpool and Real Madrid. Big win for the Reds at Anfield. And Arne Slot is happy with the performance of his team. Who wouldn't be? Let's listen to him.
I think it's always good to win a game, and especially a big game like this, because you face so many quality players. For me, it would even mean more if we go into the later stages of the tournament, because this is such a strange and different setup in the Champions League that it's difficult to judge how important these wins are. If we arrive in the last 16 or quarterfinals or wherever we can arrive to, and we face them again, and then we are able to beat them, that would be maybe a bigger statement than this. But we are definitely happy with the win. Let that be clear.
So that's it. Liverpool's manager, Arne Slot, commenting after that crucial win over Real Madrid, important for the Reds. And that puts them in a good position, particularly, I think, 18 games, 16 wins. That's so impressive.
It is impressive. And I like the way he's managed the squad. They've not had to deal with major injury issues. At some point, Konate was injured. I think that's the only. They've not had the major issues that Arsenal and City have had. Those things are part of football. You can be lucky with them once in a while. At some point, I was saying they've not played the big teams. They have now. City is up next, but this is a good time to play City if you want to play City. So we'll see what happens with that one. All right, let's talk about something that Polo has made me laugh off camera. I don't know if he's going to repeat it again. Ruud van Nistelrooy is in the news. He's favored to be the next manager of Nottingham. Of Leicester City. I was saying Nottingham because I'm remembering Steve Cooper, Nottingham also. But Bolu, you said he hammered them so much that they thought there's no other person to give this job.
His first and last job with Man United was against Leicester City, and both of them were not pleasant games. I think they scored about 8 goals in the 2 games. Oh, okay. If you can do this against us, if you can't beat them, you join them. That's what they did to Van Nistelrooy. So now he will likely get the job on a full-time basis. Now he will try and resuscitate them, bring back their season. The truth is, Leicester have been poor since they let go of Maresca to join Chelsea, and Steve Cooper has not lived up to it. Sometimes some relationship can work. It doesn't mean Cooper is a bad manager. Like we say with the United managers and co, we saw what they did before joining them. That similar thing with Cooper, we saw him with Forest. It wasn't bad, but at Leicester, it's just not working. Maybe Ruben need to bring them back up. They started well at a point in the getting assists and all, but suddenly everything has gone dry. they need a change. Fortunately, they're getting a man that has scored it against them. So let's see how far Ruud van Nistelrooy, when he gets the job, if he can do enough to save them from relegation.
Let's go to Austin, our parting shot on the show. Your thoughts on Iga Swiatek, even as we go on the show tonight.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. She's world number 2. I think she's won about 5 Grand Slams, defending French Open champion. You know, so she's got a lot of reputation to protect. That medication was something for her heart. Said something about it being contaminated and produced in her home country. Look, these are excuses. When you are a world champion, when you're somebody that the world is looking at and people admire your status, you must do everything to stay clean, play with integrity, and protect your career. She'll be back on the 4th of December. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here in Lagos. But before we go, I want to thank Bolu Omoni for his time on the show. Bolu, thanks for being here.
So it's a pleasure coming around.
All right, we leave you with highlights of matches from the Asian Champions League. We bid you to enjoy the rest of your day. You'll see us again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.